Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy StumpD back from the OPTC video, and in today's video, we're diving into the TREICERATOPS Armored Division against Sasaki with 3 teams for you guys. So I do have 2 fully boosted teams. They do use Sasaki and the new 5+ Orochi, the free-to-play characters that have just released over here on OPTC. They're very good at getting more points, and these 2 teams, they will get you those points very quickly without using either the new Franky or the new Brook, or the new Robin or the Sanji that has just released as well. Now, I do have another team. It is a double jack team. It does use the Orochi, so it does get you a lot of points. I think it's like a 1.66 times booster, while the other 2 teams are like 3 point something teams. The first team you'll see, like I said, doesn't use any of the new batch, doesn't even use Oden or Kinemon Dendro. Now, Kinemon Dendro are so good for this, because they have the only unit that can remove damage reduction that is actually boosted. So it's a little bit annoying there, but the final team you'll see does use Kinemon Dendro. It also uses Oden. We're using a friend captain Brook. The first team uses Franky. It's a lot of fun. But if you guys enjoy the video, if it does help you out and you are enjoying the content, don't forget to belt the like button if you're new. Hit that big red subscribe button too, like 55% of you guys haven't done so already. It's good OPTC content. What are you doing? With that said though, enjoy the video. Alright, so the first team, as I mentioned, does not use Kinemon Dendro, Oden, any of the new batch, or the batch that came before that. So that's the team. Those are the supports. Let's dive in. Now, this team is actually like a 3 point something team, and it is no stall as well. It does use like friend V2 Franky though, so you do need to make sure you can get your hands on a V2 Franky friend captain somehow. Obviously, you want to either bring Franky or you want to bring Brook as your friend captain, as they are just very, very good for this particular fight. Franky's great because he can get around burn. He can also get around attack down, depending on which variation of the Rhino tank that you are, or the general Franky form. And with this particular team, you do have the support of Beppo, Sachi, and Penguin, as well as Halloween Mihawk to get around the damage reduction on the final stage. So we are using some pretty intricate supports. If you guys don't have those supports, I would just replace Zoro with literally any damage reduction remover. Unfortunately, you probably have to find a character that's not boosted, but as long as it's a free spirit character, as long as it falls under Franky's requirements of being a free spirit and then like any of the primary classes, like you should be fine. Like there shouldn't be too many issues there. Some characters I can think of is stuff like Bobbins should work great, but in saying that as well, if they're not boosted, they're not going to be getting cooldowns. Now, Sasuke is really interesting because the new Sasuke is actually on this team. Farm the easy form and then just get a couple copies. That way you can actually like get his special ready to go. He's great because he can remove the despair on this particular stage, and with the Mr. 3 support, he can actually give us an orb boost as well to our free spirit and our powerhouse characters. With that, we can actually just do a butt ton of damage thanks to the switchability of the Franky, General Franky as well. And that way we can take out Pooh, as we do have color affinity with the General Franky form. When we switch into the Dex variation, we can remove Burn, and if you move into stage 4 as the Dex variation, you'll actually get around that. You either come up against King or you come up against Queen. Now, King will give you 4 turns of Despair, which is a little bit annoying, and Queen will actually bind your top and middle row. They do a bunch of HP cuts, as well as give us that burn that the captain can get around. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use our Franky special, our Orochi special, and our Law special. Now, what I actually did here is I used the Orochi special first, and then use the Franky special just to show you guys that you can actually get around both variations. Because if you get blinded, Law's going to get blinded first, and you're not going to have his captain ability, like, or his orb ability. But if you come up against King, it's a lot easier, because you can actually just use his special first. That way you get a full board of orbs. That way you get a bigger orb boost as well. But you can do it with the Orochi special. Now, if you don't kill them on turn 1, they will give you bind if you get them below 50% HP, so just be mindful of that. And they do like attack down and all these other shenanigans, so just be really, really careful. Once you move into the final stage, you need to make sure that you move into the final stage as the Psy variation of Franky. That way you get around the attack down that gets inflicted. We get poison sockets. I haven't seen them in a little while. And Sasuke has 4 turns of damage reduction. So obviously this is where the new Franky's really, really good, because like he can remove poison, he gives you an attack boost, he gives you an orb boost. With the switch ability, you can get a color affinity boost. Not that you actually need it for this particular variation, but it is what it is. Once we pop Zoro, we can use the support Halloween Mihawk, and that is going to remove the rest of the damage reduction. And with that, wham bam, thank you ma'am. We have enough damage to absolute decimate Mr. Sasaki. So, that was the first team. None of the new batch, none of the old batch, like the Oden, Kinemon, Dendro batch, which is actually pretty cool. Using Wano Laura's captain once again. Like, the man's a god. He's a god. I love that character. So, that was the first team. Let's move on to the Jack team now. Alright, so moving on to the Jack team now, it looks a little bit like this. Now, this is the 2 times XP event. So, obviously, running double Jack as well as the Ho ship is going to get us a butt ton of XP. Now, this is actually a 1.66 times boosted team as well. So, you can actually get, like, a lot of points with this team as well and kind of do, like, a 2 birds, 1 stone situation. Unfortunately, though, I wouldn't really recommend this team, as what I would recommend doing is sort of just, like, if you have a lot of stamina, right, just get, like, to the max points that you can, or whatever you want to get to, and then go back in with Jack. Like, that's what I would probably recommend doing, but if you really want to do it this way, this team does work quite nicely. Unfortunately, you do need Kinemon Dendro. It is a bit of a downside, but I guess you could probably replace Kinemon Dendro with something like maybe Carrot. You just need to get around that damage reduction on the final stage. Kinemon Dendro just provides so much extra damage, as well as have color affinity. So it just means that, like, they can just do so much in that final stage. Unfortunately here, we are going to get stuck against Apu. Now, unfortunately, Apu does have a chunky bit of HP. And if you don't kill him on the first turn, he's actually going to give you burn as well as the tap timing. So you can only tap with 4 units. Now, you do want to switch with your Kinemon Dendro every single turn here. But just be mindful that burn is around 8,000. So ideally, you only want to be hitting with Kinemon Dendro because you can pretty much guarantee them a matching orb. Now, by the 3rd turn here, you do want to be really, really careful because, like, if you switch, like, in the early stages like I did, you are going to be cutting it really, really close when it comes to that super switch mechanic. And if you get unlucky with an orb roll, fortunately for me, I didn't get too bad of an orb roll, but you got to be really, really careful. Once Apu gets to very low HP, he does, like, a huge HP cut, and it's really not that big of a deal. It's actually better for us. He gives us a full board of unfavorable slots, but the upside to that is we don't get the burn, so then we can actually take him out on that 3rd turn, and then we can move on to King. So, like, there's not a lot of stalling here, to be honest, for a double Jack team. It's actually pretty nice, and if you can find a Limit Break expanded Jack, you are going to be in really good stead. Once we move on to the King/Queen stage, we get the full board of Block Orbs, the 3 turns of Burn, and the 4 turns of Despair, or 3 turns of Bind. As long as you have Kaido and Orochi down the bottom, you're going to be in for a good time here. Pop Kaido, he can remove 3 turns of Despair, as well as give us a full board of Strength Orbs. And then Orochi is going to remove the rest of the Despair. He's also going to give us an Orb boost to our Driven characters, and then we can use one of our Jack specials. Now, if you bring a Limit Break expanded friend Jack, you will have his cooldowns ready to go. So that's why stalling on Apu is not the biggest, like, it's not the biggest deal. Because you do need to get Jack special back. Jack gives you a 3 times chain lock, and it just gives you enough damage to absolutely decimate either King or Queen, thanks to the switchability of Kinemon and Dendro as well, giving themselves a matching orb, and that extra damage thanks to the slasher resistance. Once we move on to the final stage against Sasaki, he's going to turn into either, I think he turns into either a inch unit or a quick unit. I've only ever had him as an inch unit, but let me know in the comment section below if he actually turns it into a quick unit as well. You get poison sockets, so we do need to remove them. We also get attack down, and he puts up damage reduction. So this is where the chopper, the Kazuna chopper from last Kazuna, is actually really, really good, because he can not only remove poison, but he also removes attack down, which is great. He gives us color affinity for our cerebral characters and our dex characters, which doesn't really matter for this particular team, but it does help us out a little bit in the next team. But thanks to that color affinity with Kinemon Dendro and that slasher resistance thanks to their super swap, we do have enough damage there to actually take out the TREICERATOPS. So that was the double Jack team. Like I said, I'm not 100% confident how it will go with the quick variation, if there is a quick variation. But I do think Chopper's going to be hitting very, very hard because Chopper has color affinity as well, and you do have that color affinity buff. So there you guys go. Let's move on to the final team now. Alright, so the final team is utilizing Oden, Kinemon Dendro, and a friend, Captain Brook. The thing I would change before we jump in is make sure to put Kinjuro on Kinemon Dendro. That way you can get 2 turns of Bind and Despair removal, because you do not need Vivi. I totally stuffed that up. But let's fast forward to stage 3. That's the team. Those are the supports. Let's dive in. So you bet your ass I had to give the boy Brook some love. I actually really wanted to try this comp since I saw Brook's kit. The combination of Super Class Oden and Super Class Brook is going to be really, really interesting moving forward, because it's the first team that you can pretty much get synergy with a double Super Class situation. Having Super Class Free Spirit and Super Class Slasher is going to be super, super nice moving forward, because there's a lot of very good Slashers and a lot of very good Free Spirit dual combinations. You have Oden, Kinemon Dendro, Brook, Toki, Roger. The list goes on and on and on, and you can, like, I'm very keen to see what I can do with this, like, Oden and this Brook combination. So on stage 3, we just, like, decimate the Apu stage, and then on stage 4 against King/Queen, we are going to use our Sasaki special. Thanks to the support of Mr. 3, we can actually get the 2x Orb boost for Free Spirits. Orochi's going to remove the Bind or the Despair, and thanks to the support of Kinjuro that you should have on Kinemon Dendro, you'll actually remove the other 2 turns of Despair. If you got that particular variation. Finally, we're going to finish it off with Brook's special to get a full board of orbs, as we will be below 30% HP. And if you really want to here, you can use the super class of either Brook or Oden. You don't actually need it for the final stage. I wasn't sure like what the damage would be like here, because you do have 3 turns of burn. It is something to note. You do want to be very, very careful about that burn. That burn will hurt. Like, it hurts a lot. But as you can see, like, just with those specials, like, we can do a lot of damage. So super class, no super class, it doesn't really matter too much, but I would probably use the super class just to guarantee yourself some damage. Whether it's Brook, whether it's Oden, whether it's both, it's probably not going to matter, because on this final stage against Sasaki, he puts up 4 turns of attack down and damage reduction, or 3 turns I should say. It's just very easy to remove with the chopper situation once again, and with the switchability of Kinemon Dendro, the special of Oden giving us an attack boost, and then the special of Kinemon Dendro giving us a orb and a base stat boost. We are basically just going to decimate Sasaki here. With the support of Dofi as well, we can actually get a chain buff. And obviously there are no revive mechanics, so you don't have to worry about the burn on this particular stage anyway. So you're just going to do so much damage against Sasaki. I think we just one-shot him with Kinemon Dendro. But that's going to wrap up the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Good luck with the farming event. I hope you guys did well in Kizuna as well. Let me know how you found this Kizuna and you found this new free-to-play event. Are you using Jack? Are you using a boosted team? Let me know in the comment section below, and while you're down there, don't forget to belt the like button for me if you're new to the channel. Hit that big red subscribe button too. But guys, wherever you are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one.